Hello, I'm Gareth Jones, sports editor at BBC Radio Leeds. Alongside me, our Leeds United correspondent, Adam Pope. We bring you the latest now on the decision today that Massimo Cellino's appeal against his disqualification by the Football League from owning Leeds United has failed. And as it stands, he has 2 days to relinquish ownership of the club. Adam, just remind us of what's exactly happened today.
I'll condense this. 110 points, 30 pages. Tax evasion on a yacht called Nelly in March. Convicted in the first instance in Italy. The Football League said he was guilty of that tax evasion and that it was a dishonest act. And so they've barred him from ownership. The appeal was rejected basically on various fronts, and it means now he has to step down until April the 10th, Gareth, when his conviction is spent, which is actually March the 18th, but the extra time is because this appeal was delayed until, last Thursday, so that's why. So fundamentally, he steps down now, but he could appeal.
We on BBC Radio Leeds have been getting exclusive reaction from Leeds United today from Chief Operating Officer Matt Child. This is just a sample of what he's had to tell us today.
We are surprised, we are really disappointed. We will continue to take legal advice to see what our options are, because this is a bit of uncharted territory for all of us. And we will be engaging with the Football League and their legal team to see what the potential outcomes may be for Leeds United. We've been here since 1919, right? So we'll continue to crack on. And I think the next 48 hours will be very interesting for us all.
Might have to go within 2 days. He could be back as soon as April the 10th. However, I suppose a lot's going through his mind at the moment. It depends what course of action he wants to say. It may be that he goes, I've had enough, I suppose, is one option. But that's what I can see as a fighter, isn't he, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. If he hadn't been born in Italy, to been born in Leeds, that's for sure, because he's just like us. Yeah, I think, from a personal perspective, we're all kind of rallying around and trying to keep his spirits up, because I think he feels as though he's been invited to a party and he's turned up and they said he can't come in. So, I think it's for us and the fans that feel as though they want to do this to get behind him and show him that we want him here.
So that's Chief Operating Officer Matt Child. If you want to hear the full 10-minute interview Adam conducted with him live at Ellen Road today, you can go to our Audio Boom channel, which is West Yorkshire Sport, or find the link on Twitter at WYS Daily. Adam, you have been down at Ellen Road today when the news broke that this appeal had failed. What's the atmosphere down there? What are the key characters been saying?
Well, I did see Massimo Cellino for a few minutes, but he didn't want to say anything on the record. Of course, they're very upset with the ruling, and so it was Matt Child that actually spoke, and we appreciate that. They're trying to say, look, it's business as usual for now. Transfers will continue. The game against the leaders, Bournemouth, continues. That's Tuesday night, a really important game. But ultimately, there is going to be a plan B should he step away. They wouldn't admit that they will appeal, but I do think that is the next stage to do so, to try and stop this sanction going ahead. But then, of course, if he does step down, then what happens next? And that really has to be who takes charge. I think Matt Child could well do that. It won't be the minority shareholders, GFH, I've been told. And in the meantime, then what does Massimo do? At the end game could be that he does sell the club. It depends really his state of mind. If he feels, look, I've had enough of this, I'll sell. But of course, he's sunk, he will say, tens and tens of millions of pounds into the club so far. So that is a lot easier, as we know, said than it is done.
Obviously, long term, this is worrying for Leeds United fans. Short term, it maybe sounds a bit trivial at the moment to talk about transfers at a time when we don't know who's going to own the club. But equally, as this rumbles on, we believe he hasn't been able to make transfers at the moment because he's been so focused on this appeal. Now it's over. He's got to decide whether to appeal again, or he's got to decide who takes charge of the club. Again, is it a worry that this could all delay Leeds from making signings, which they clearly need in January if they are to stay in this league?
Well, I think that's probably explains why we haven't seen too many so far. But I do understand that targets like Sol Bamba, who's currently at Palermo, used to be at Leicester, he still could very much be on the radar. They still have scope, despite the embargo, to bring in players, and I do believe that might well happen regardless of what happens with Massimo Cellino, who the Football League's or the panel felt that he's really very much committed to the club. They don't see that this decision will see him walk away or that the club will fold on the back of it. It'll be interesting to see what Massimo Cellino does say himself eventually. Obviously, they've been very, very much in praise of everybody that's given a lot of support at this stage. But there's a lot of imponderables, Gareth. That's the issue at the moment. And what happens to things like the £23.5 million investment that Massimo and GFH were set to put into the club?
Massimo Cellino today, in a statement on the Leeds United website, has thanked everyone involved in supporting him through this, whether it's fans, sponsors, etc. Finally then, what does happen next?
Well, the first thing that would happen would be an appeal. And that's up to Massimo's legal team to go and do that. Now, I personally think that's what they are doing, and we'll try and see how that resolves itself, really. If not, then he'll be stepping down by Wednesday afternoon, because this judgment came out, 12 o'clock today. And then he'd have to divest his interest. Now, that means his shares, if you like, or his interest in Leeds United. Now, it's not as simple as just writing a letter and saying, right, Mrs. Cellino, you have my bit for now and I'll just sort of go away. Obviously, the end game could be that he thinks, well, I'm going to have to sell and find somebody that can, repay him for all the money and the effort he's put into it so far. But that is a few stages down the line at this point. The other big thing, Gareth, could be this. What happens in Italy if they find him innocent after the second or third appeal against his tax evasion? It makes a mockery of today's decision, does it not? And then there'll be hell on if there isn't already.
Adam Pope, many thanks indeed. As always, this is going to rumble on, isn't it, over the next few days. Stay tuned on BBC Radio Leeds, and particularly our weeknight programme, West Yorkshire Sport Daily, for all the latest on everything on Leeds United. Follow us on Twitter at WYS Daily, facebook.com/BBC Radio Leeds for the latest on everything regarding Leeds United. Have your say on it all on Twitter as well, at WYS Daily. We hope this video has helped explain a little bit more the latest part of the soap opera at Leeds United.